Hello, this is John Paul from Ultimate Inner Strength, and today we have one of the top dating coaches in Canada, and to me, he's the best dating coach in the world. And he's really a powerful person, and an experience with him, I can say, is life changing. His name is David Egg. David, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much, Jean Paul.
Yes, I'm very happy to be talking to you, and I'm really excited about you coming down to the UK in April. And But I want to ask you this question. How do you manage your time? Because you have clients all over the world in different time zones. Do you ever have time for yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, this is what I do full time.
Hmm.
So, like for me now, for example, what time is it in the UK right now?
It's 5 past 5 o'clock, 6 minutes past five.
And here it's 5 past 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow, wow. Did you see
So,
that?
if as long as I don't do a regular job, then
Hmm.
I have plenty of time to work with you guys.
True, which we really appreciate. So let me ask you the first question. What's the most common challenge you find men have with women?
The most common where I most of my students have the same problem. The challenge is to get them to think of rule number one
Which
and
is,
rule and okay and which is not to care what the woman is saying or thinking.
mm, but that to many of us sounds kind of, some would even say chauvinistic or very rude.
No, no. I give the same rules to the women. You see, you have to realize that when you talk to a woman, you have to find out if she's telling you the truth, if she's serious about you.
Hmm.
So if you're listening to what she's saying to you, usually men try too hard to say things to women that they think will please the women.
Okay,
There's your first mistake. You don't have to please the women. Women are looking for a strong man, an influential man, somebody who knows where he's going and what he's doing.
mm,
By trying to tell them what they want to hear never works.
okay. So it's as if men are doing the opposite thing of what actually they should be doing.
Exactly. If, I find whenever I talk to any man and he starts talking to me and I ask him, I says, do you ever notice that the fellows who aren't very bright have
Hmm.
no problem with women?
It's so true.
And exactly the same answer I get is the one I got from you. Why is that? If you analyze why that is
Hmm.
because these guys don't try to think about what the woman wants to hear. They just talk.
True,
The
true.
same way you are talking to me, you
Hmm.
don't hold anything back. But if I had a skirt on me, you would talk to me differently.
True, and I mean, in fact, it's a real problem because many men become different people when they meet a woman. It's as if they forget who they are in the first place. You know.
Yes, yes. And they
So
forget what they really want to do.
it's true. And let me ask you this: how do you think men in today's society became so dependent on women's approval?
Well, it's like it's like this. Every generation is smarter than the generation before them
Hmm.
because that's why today we have people building computers, people building spaceships. We're so more advanced than we were 100 years ago because every generation the people are smarter.
Yes.
That is a double-edged sword. Being smarter than your parents' generation and your grandparents' generation is a problem because you're smarter, you think more. The more
Hmm.
you think, the more it gives you problems. Because, like I tell everybody, and you're going to be. This is what I start with my new seminars. On this planet, we're a species of animal,
Mm-hmm.
just like all the other species of animal. Now, what does every species of animal, what are they supposed to do? What are men supposed to do? What are women supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's it goes down to only two things: eat and fuck.
True. True.
That's all you're supposed to do. Now, built into us in our DNA is natural features
Mm-hmm.
that attract us to women. Body gives out certain odors, certain signals. When you go into a room, you should be able to notice the women. They're giving off signals. Why do you get attracted to a woman?
Mm-hmm.
It's visual. She didn't say anything to you yet. She didn't touch you. In your visual mind, you look at a woman and you say, "Oh my God, she turns me on."
Mm-hmm.
Defining what about her turns you on is more important than trying to say something to her that she's going to like you. She's sending out signals. These signals are inherent in us. We should be able to pick them up. Most species of animal, when the female is in heat, send out odors and attract other male of the species. Women do the same thing.
So are you saying that when we are attracted to a woman, is because she sent out a signal to attract us? Is that what it is?
100%.
Wow. That's
Don't forget something, Jean Paul. In every species of animal,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say every single one, but I would say the majority of animal species, the male is the better looking, more majestic of the animals. If you look at the lions, if you look at the buffalo, if you look at the deer,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the caribou, if you look at the moose, you look at the bear, all the males are bigger, stronger. Women spend a fortune on makeup and clothing. Now, they spend a fortune on their hair. I was listening to statistics the other day about American women, how much money they spend on hair products. It's mind-boggling. And I try to tell my students, which they don't understand, but I think the students in the UK will be smarter and they'll know that the makeup and the hair started off with the male.
How so?
Well, you still have that. In court in England, the
Mm-hmm.
men put on wigs.
Yes.
In the old days, the kings would put on the makeup, not the females. Even a purse. Today, it's natural for a woman to carry a purse,
Mm-hmm.
but the purse was started off by the men. Started off in the UK, in England. The man that works on a ship who takes care of the money is called the purser.
Mm-hmm. Well,
This
that's
was this was adopted by the female because a female saw the men were so more majestic and better looking. What would happen if they put on makeup? If they
wow.
put on jewelry?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. But I agree with what you said before about eating and fucking, or how others would say to we are meant to survive and to replicate. And I think because everything we do in life is geared towards those two things. Even if you want to make more money, is to ensure that you will be able to eat for a long time and your family can eat for a long time comfortably, or
Exactly.
or to attract somebody that you want that is has the highest chance of maybe how do they say this scientifically to carry the genes into the next generation of what you've got.
And you want the stronger gene possible.
It's true. It's true. So
Now,
mhm,
let me just say something now. That's why It brings me now to the second rule, which the first rule is meant to protect the second rule. The
Okay.
second rule is the most important rule of anybody's life. And it is, you are the most important person in the relationship. Don't put yourself down. Don't put this woman on a pedestal. She's not. Everybody is underneath you. Exactly what you were saying. The strong will survive. You have to know what you want. You have to protect yourself. You have to respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, there's no woman is going to be able to respect you.
It's so true. You know, in some of the material I have written, um, you know, because when I do what I do is a bit different from you. You do counseling and consulting. I do coaching. So I ask questions and get people to answer their own questions, basically.
Well,
And
I have to be honest with you. I do the same thing. I counseling. I do coaching. You see, my rules are for coaching. Only the first session we talk about history.
mhm,
We talk about a lot of people have these issues, why they've become like they are. They want to know why. I tell them like this. Only the first session we discuss it, because no matter how good I am, I can't help you for yesterday. I can only help you for tomorrow.
mhm,
So what you have to do is, most of the guys I coach, I would say all the guys I coach are so bright, so smart. They get that concept. They forget about what they've done in the past and they start to go fresh. That's where the key is. I find that I don't have one student, counselor, coaching that is stupid, that is unintelligent.
mhm.
I've gathered my information now. I'm doing coaching for a lot of years, and everybody I've coached I find is above average intelligence.
Mhm. Mhm. Those are the people most likely to come for coaching. But what I wanted to say is, you have men who come in and they say things like their girlfriends don't respect them, for example, and then you ask them about what happens, and then or they get angry that the girl does this and that. And what I say to them is, take a look at who is not respecting who. Because first of all, what would you say? What would you do if a guy treated you this way, or if your male friend insulted you the way she did? How would you react to it? Would you take
Well,
it? You know.
I'll be honest with you. The reason that women stop respecting men is a couple of easy things. Men in their lifestyle,
Hmm.
a lot of men feel that they're being nice if they agree with the woman, if they want to take it easy on the woman.
Hmm.
Okay, dear, me too. I have a rule that I tell them that they have to ask every woman, what are the three most important things in any relationship? And I emphasize any. That's even a relationship between me and you, Jean Paul.
Hmm.
What are the three most important things? Well, I then I explain to them it's a foundation. To build a good relationship, it's like building a building. If you don't have a good foundation, the building will never stand up.
Hmm.
The foundation of any relationship should be honesty, trust, and respect. Now, there's two kinds of respect. There's only one kind of trust, and there's only one kind of honesty.
Hmm.
There's the two respects are admiration and fear. And I always tell them I take what I can get. But if soon as you stop respecting yourself by saying, "Oh, I'm going to give in to this woman," you're losing. It, you set a case in precedence. It's like all our society. When you go to people, like now there's plenty of organizations that protect women against abusive men.
Hmm.
And every organization will tell you if the man abused you once, he'll abuse you again. If you let a woman abuse you once, you've set a precedence. Once you've set that precedence, it's very hard to go back. You
Hmm.
have to be on. And the trouble is that once these men, and a lot of my students, it falls in, all of them have the same problem. Once they get a woman, they get lazy. They figure, oh, I got the woman. Getting the woman is just the smallest part. It's the tip of the iceberg.
Hmm.
Keeping them is the hardest part. That's why you can't. I tell guys, I says just two words you're never allowed to say, and that is me too.
David, do you mind stepping back for your microphone a bit? Because I think is a bit get louder now than before.
Oh, okay, I get excited, so I talk too loud.
Yeah. But let me ask you some practical questions because I agree with you on a lot of what you're saying, but many of the guys who are listening, they're not even at the stage yet when they can keep a woman because they haven't gotten the woman in the first place. And
Well, that's what you see. That's why the first parts of my seminar I work more on rule number one, because see, Jean Paul, a fellow like you, I could work right through with him, but because you understand a lot.
mhm,
And yes, I know that that's why I don't like to bring in the mention of rule number two, because a lot of guys feel inferior,
yeah,
feel unsecure. And the reason they feel unsecure is inferior is because of their friends, society. I have every kind of student. They've told me every kind of deep, darkest secret. From they think their penis is too small, they might not be able to orgasm with the woman together. They might orgasm right real fast. I've had a case where the man goes and the woman and him get undressed, and as soon as he sees her naked, he had an orgasm. So he's so excited. Yes, all these things happen, but if it happens, number one, I make a rule. While I do the coaching,
mhm,
nobody is allowed to punish themselves but me. I'm the only one allowed to punish them, because if that happens, I don't find it a mistake. I find it you're growing from it. As you get older, as you get more experience, you won't have those problems.
mhm, mhm,
It's like the first time a guy smokes a cigarette and starts coughing, you tell him if you want to smoke, you have to practice. You have to get used to it. This first time a guy takes a drink of whiskey, it
mhm,
burns his throat.
mhm.
It'll never be as bad as the first time.
True,
The
true.
first time, the first time you experience pleasure with a woman, it has so many variables. I was a very lucky man. I had experience with a woman when I was very young, and that woman taught me. She showed me things. A lot of men are afraid to ask the woman to help them. I had one young fellow that I graduated. I have to be honest with you. I told him he met a girl. He was afraid to take her out on the second date in case they would have sex. What do I do? I said, you know what you tell her? Tell her, I'm afraid to have sex with you because I don't know what to do. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And he had a wonderful relationship with her, because the problems that is in their mind is not in the reality.
Hmm. It's very true, because I know from my own experience that when you are, I remember once I told a friend of mine that I met this girl and she made me feel really nervous, and I told her, and this happened to me quite a few times, and actually, you find maybe the girl is nervous as well, and when you tell her, she becomes less tense, and things go faster. But when I was telling
No,
my friend this, he was like, "You can never tell a woman you're uncomfortable. You can never tell a woman you are nervous." Meanwhile, it doesn't really. To me, if a girl can't understand that, then she shouldn't be with her in the first place.
I'll tell you something. A lot of the other people in the community, the so-called gurus, were my students, and they have the same problems as other people. The only thing that they have more than the other guys that they're selling products to is that they know how to market.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll tell you what I believe. Um, a woman today is looking for a man. If the man isn't experienced sexually, it's not a big problem for her. Yes, of course, there are some women who want a very experienced man. There are some women who want a man with an extremely large penis.
Mm-hmm.
There are some women who like a man with small penis. There are some men who like big-breasted women. There are some men who only like small-breasted women.
True.
There are some men who like overweight women. There are men who like women with big asses. I mean, your preference is your own preference, and never be shy or ashamed of what you like. You know, I went out with a fella one time. We're going to a bar, and I go into a bar and I say, "Look at that girl over there. She's gorgeous." He goes, "I like the other one beside her." The other one beside her had this, in my mind, a huge ass. So I wasn't questioning him. It was
Yeah.
good. It was good for me that he didn't like the same one I like. I've and throughout my lifetime, I have to be honest with you, I've changed what I like. After going out with women with big breasts for a long time, I said, I'm going to try women with small breasts and big asses. Mind you, I tried a couple of fat women too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know what? You've got to try everything.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I agree with you because
You know what? There's a joke. Do you have in England? Do you have anything called a moped?
the little things that you ride on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
motorized
yeah, yeah.
bicycle.
My ex-girlfriend had
Okay,
one of those.
okay. You know what they say, eh?
What did they say?
Why is a fat girl and a moped the same?
I don't know why.
Because they're fun to ride, but you don't want to be seen on one.
Yeah, that's what, with friends we have these girls. We call them underground girls because we don't let anybody know we slept with them. But some of them they're actually really really fun in bed. And to be honest, I was telling my friend he made a joke that he wouldn't know. And I've heard you say that sometimes, and I think it's a lot of times the ugly girls that seem better in bed or more expressive than those who think they are really attractive. The first time I was with the girl I thought at that time was attractive I'd been with, I was really disappointed because I just felt like, well, is that it? While there are girls who are not as attractive, but they are much more fun.
We have another saying here in Canada. I don't know if we have it anywhere else, but it's not the face you fuck, it's the fuck you face.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I heard you say that in another interview. But let me quickly ask you this: where does a guy start? Somebody who is really inexperienced and wants to start. Let's say he wants to go to a nightclub and pick up a girl. What's the first thing he's got to do?
Well, depends how his experience level is. It depends how horny he is too. If he's very horny, I tell them before you go out, jerk off,
Why?
because if they'll think they're going to think too hard. If they jerk off, they're going to be more relaxed. They're not going to be they're not going to be as intense on the woman. A woman can feel too when a man is just so intense on her.
Hmm. So okay, so let's say he's jacked off, he's ready to go, and he sees a girl he likes. What's the next step?
Well, I tell them all to look at her and tell himself in his mind what about her attracts him to her. And then he goes over to the woman and he tells her what about her attracts him to her. In other words, if the woman's got a short skirt on and she's got long legs and it turns him on, he should go over to her and say, I looked at you and I saw your beautiful long legs and it turns me on. I'd like to get to know you better.
But
If
let me,
a woman is wearing a nice outfit and she looks really sexy in her outfit, go over and say, you look so good in your outfit. I'd like to get to know you better.
let me ask you this, because a lot of times, and it has happened to me, and I know it has happened to many other guys, because they always ask about this. When before they even open their mouth, the girl turns away, or her friends pull her away before they even get a chance to speak, and that happens a lot in nightclubs.
Well, remember what I said. Don't listen to what they say. Just do what you want to do. You see, the trouble is, if she turns, if she walks toward, if you're walking toward her and she turns away from you,
Hmm.
she's turning away from you. Why should you care? You should say to her, "Hi. Why are you turning away from me? You're turning away from me because I like you. You're turning away from me because I wanted to come and compliment you." You cannot be afraid of her. If something she does bothers you, you have to tell her. That's the honesty, trust, and respect.
Hmm.
If you cannot, so many women will talk to a guy, and when another guy passes, she'll look at the other guy. And if the same guy talks to a woman and a woman passes and he looks at her, she'll get insulted. You're looking at her when you're talking to me.
Hmm.
You
But,
see, it's
but
exactly it works exactly both ways. You have to be able to accept it.
but
Yeah, I looked at her because she was hot.
yeah,
You can't be afraid of it.
because it's true, but it seems sometimes that meeting women is like just plowing through resistance or dealing with their disrespectful ways. It sometimes it feels like that when you go out in the night.
Sure, but that's why I'm saying when you're armed with the honesty part, you've got an advantage over all the other guys. You know, don't forget, there's a couple of statistics that men have to know,
Hmm.
and that is 50% of all men think about sex all the time.
Hmm.
25% of all women think about sex all the time.
Okay, so 1 in 4.
One in four. Now, 60% or more of all women never have an orgasm in their lifetime for various reasons. Either they're not with the right man or it's not like men. See, 100% of all men can have an orgasm, but women are not the same. So what does that mean? It means when you go into a bar, only 1 in 4 really want to have sex. If you hit the other ones, they can play with you, they can make you buy them drinks, they can tease you, they can make you feel insecure
Hmm.
because that's what they enjoy to do.
So, but
If you talk to a woman and you tell her honestly you're interested, you think she's hot, and she says to you all you want is sex,
mhm.
well, yeah, that's all you want. Why are you
but
afraid to? I find if 90% of my students are asked by a woman before they talk to me, all you want is sex, they'll go, no, 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 no. And what are they doing? They're lying.
true.
They don't want to offend the woman. They don't want the woman to think that's all they want.
Let
But
me,
when a lioness passes in front of a lion and she gives out a scent with her pussy, the lion jumps on top of her and fucks her. He doesn't care what she says.
well, true, but how can you cannot do that in a nightclub, obviously? And so, because my biggest question for you today is this: when do you know that you should walk away? That maybe you've hit the wrong woman. That you maybe the other 3 out of 4 or the 75% doesn't mean they don't want to have sex ever or just not on that night. And how do you know that you know what it's not gonna work? I'll just walk away.
You know, it's a funny thing. You should, if you follow that rule, you'll know. Because if she's being rude to you, if she's being disrespectful, you have to ask yourself all the time, honesty, trust, and respect. Do you feel she's being honest? Do you trust her? Do
Mm.
you respect her? If you answer no to any one of these things, walk away. There's your gauge. If you want to know, if you talk to a woman and I'll give you an example. I have a student that says to me, most of the women he talks to says they have a boyfriend. I say, yeah. He says, how do you deal with that? I say, well, to be honest with you, I only answer a woman when she says she has a boyfriend if she said it 3 times. If
Oh,
she, because it's a weapon that they use. I have a boyfriend, and half the guys run away.
true.
Now, if they had a boyfriend, what are they doing there?
Mhm. Mhm.
If they have a boyfriend, maybe she's frustrating him too. I don't care if she has a boyfriend. She could have 10 friends. What do I care? If she has parents and 4 grandparents, or she has parents and 2 grandparents, why does it concern me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So why did they say that?
If
Is there a
no, you know
test?
what? No, hold on a second. Listen, if you ask any guy, does he trust a woman when she tells him stuff at the first date? He'll tell you no. They're always lying.
Mm, mm,
So why are you all of a sudden you start to talk to one woman, you start to believe her lies? Why? You
mhm,
hope they're not true? Hey, if I talk to a woman, I tell her, she tells me she has a boyfriend, and she says it to me 3 times. Hey, let's get together on the weekend. I have a boyfriend. Yeah. And then tell her after she says it the third time, I might tell her one of a couple of things. Number one, I might say, if I was your boyfriend, I wouldn't let you be out talking to me.
mhm,
That's number one. Number two, why are you telling me about your boyfriend? Why don't you tell me what you do with your boyfriend? Does he sexually satisfy you? Is he good in bed? Does he know what he's doing? Because if I sleep with the woman, I'm sure she'll be sexually satisfied. I know what I'm doing.
mhm,
I'm not afraid to tell her. I'm ahead of you.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, this one of the times when you have to also step up back from the mic a little, please, as well. But it's very true what you're saying. You know, when I first a few years ago heard about you and decided to be more honest with women, I was scared that when you tell them the truth, they they react badly, but actually react much better than when you try to to pretend or to hide your interest in them.
100%.
Let me ask you this though, because there are some people who prefer to express interest, but not necessarily by saying directly what they want to say, but rather than showing her, maybe the way they look at her, or the tone of the voice, or the way they touch her. Do you think it's the same as being verbal about what you want?
Definitely. You see, when usually if you can go into a situation where a man looks at a woman, she looks back at the man. If the man is staring at her breasts, he looks away right away if he notices her looking.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't do that. I keep looking at her breasts, and I hope it bothers her. If she got dressed in a way that her breasts stand out in my mind, I want to tell her, you did a good job. I'm turned on.
Hmm. Hmm. Let me ask you. Obviously, it's fear that stops men from being honest. So how can they overcome the fear? Is it something that is deep rooted, or is it something that they can quite easily work on?
It's fear that makes men work the way they do. Fear of what? The The woman's stronger than them. She's smarter than them. No. It's fear of being embarrassed, fear of if you go by honesty, trust, and respect, you can't use your fear anymore. It doesn't exist.
Mm. Mm.
If I'm afraid, you could. I had a woman talk to me, and I told her, you know, all the guys in this place here are afraid to talk to you because you're so good looking. And she said to me, why aren't you afraid? I said, because if I get you in bed, you'll be chasing after me for the rest of my life.
What did she say to that?
She smiled, and you know what? I got her in bed, and the anticipation of her and me worked better on her than me. Look, I'll give you an example. Every woman wants to sleep with James Bond.
Hmm.
They know he sleeps with other women,
Hmm.
but they want to sleep with him. Why?
Well, I don't know. Probably they think he must be good in bed.
You see, I'll tell you why. Because it's none of our business why they want to do that. The fact is they do. You see, I don't want to think about what they're thinking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
see, there's the answer. Look at who the women like in their life. James Bond, Casanova, Don Juan. These men can't get enough time to do anything else but sleep with women. They can get all the women. Why do all the women want them? Who cares? Because these men know what they want. And women want a man who knows what he wants. There's your answer. So
Wow.
if you want to go up to a woman and you're afraid to be honest with them, well, you might as well stay home.
Hmm. So let me ask you this other question, because there is this, because you mentioned James Bond, people, men think they have to be macho, they have to be this hardcore, you know.
Hold on. I know what you're going to ask me, and I want to tell you again. I don't say to be macho. I say to be honest. Being honest will make you macho without realizing it.
Mm.
Because you see, women want a guy who's macho. They don't say macho. They want a guy who's strong.
Hmm.
When they say strength of character, they know where they're going.
Hmm.
If you go back to the beginning of time,
Hmm.
before religion, there were cavemen. Cavemen took the woman. It was like the animal kingdom. Then, since religion, in every basic religion, women are subservient to men.
Hmm.
The first places in the world that women got power was like in England when the woman became queen.
Hmm. So, but what you just said, a lot of people, I mean, I don't agree with it, but a lot of people will start saying, um, talk about equal rights and other stuff I consider bullshit, because you said women were subservient, and what I've realized is, a lot of women, once they respect you, they actually choose to do things for you without you even asking them. It's as if they kind of feel more comfortable being, somewhat not controlled per se, but looking after the man. And I've heard women say that.
Because you see, I don't, when I say subservient to the man, I say it is the job of women to raise the young.
Hmm.
Every man knows that. It's inherent in them. Women have what they say clock in their body. Women, when they get pregnant, they start nesting. This is things that come from their DNA. This is things that come out of nature. They can't control it. The same way when a woman is with the man and the man is going to be the father of her children, she wants to take care of the father of her children. She wants to take care of the man. That's her job. Even if the woman's got a high-powered job and is an executive, it's irrelevant how she is in her home, how she is within her context of her family life.
Hmm.
Like I said, all we're supposed to do on this planet is fucking eat. When it comes to woman taking care of the fucking, she doesn't mind to provide you with the food as long as you keep her satisfied and keep her in family.
But so why is it that what you are saying now is very basic, and I think it's the foundation of everything. But our society seems to reject such statements, which I think also contributes to the problems we are having because uh, lots of men make a vow to themselves they'll never be like what you are saying, having the woman do things for them and they'll always serve the woman. And I've heard loads of things, about how the woman must be worshipped and obviously there's a time for everything, but basically they believe that men should be in control or should be strong and should be the ones leading is actually something we are told every day not to do, both by parents and by TV.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
So yes, so how do you?
You know what? You know what? There was an American woman who started the whole women's revolution, Gloria Steinman, and she never had children. She never got married, and then she was interviewed a few years ago. She was a woman who was always the one she wanted to promote women's rights,
Mhm,
and she said, for her life, she regrets it because she's never had a family and she feels very barren.
mhm,
I'll tell you another thing. If you meet a woman or that is past um, when they have the change of life and she's never had children, she's not a nice person.
yeah, past the menopause is very true.
Okay, now if a woman's had a family and she passes menopause, she becomes so sweet, a grandmother. This is nature. You can have your opinion. You know, you can
Mhm.
have your opinion that you want. I'll give you an example. One time I pick up a woman. I got out of the car and I opened the door for her, and she says, "I can open my own doors." So I said, "You know what? If you feel better, go open my door for me." You
Yeah.
know, I feel good opening the door for
Mhm,
her.
mhm.
I go back to, I tell people maybe if it would be 200 years ago, I might have been a knight. Yeah, I like that kind of thing. I don't want, you know what, if she doesn't want me to open the door for her, only because I'm a man,
Yeah.
then, I can't stop her for what she wants, but I don't have to agree with it. And I'll tell her I don't agree with it.
Mhm.
You know what, uh, if she calls me a male chauvinist, you know what I tell her?
Nah.
Okay, 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 I can live with it. See, there's where the strength comes in. You
Mm,
think you think James Bond is a male chauvinist?
nah. 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 He's just smart, I would say.
That's right.
You know, when I was inviting a friend to the seminar, and he said he was going to speak to his girl, and she should like to see if she would like to come. And I said to him, it's for men only. And he says, oh, then I can't come. I'm like, what? And he said,
Exactly.
his
You
girlfriend
know
will
what?
not like it.
You know what you have to tell him?
Tell me, I will happily tell him.
Tell him like this, okay? Ask your girlfriend to give you your balls back, to take them out of her purse.
No, it's so true. But how do you deal with? How do you help such men? Because I've had a couple of people
You
come
know
to my
what? I
office.
want to tell you something. Most of the guys that are like that come to me and they tell me they're breaking up with their girlfriend. She told them if if you can't change, I don't want to be with you anymore
Mhm,
because a woman doesn't really want a man who's subservient to her.
mhm, mhm,
If I have a friend of mine. He said to me he wants to buy a motorcycle, and he's just turned 40, and his wife will kill him. She'll never let him do it. So I said, then don't do it. He says he wants me to say it's my motorcycle, so he can, and he's going to come over and use it. So I tell him, listen, where are your balls? If you're afraid of your woman, you'll never have the kind of relationships that I have.
It's true. I'm laughing now, but I'm also laughing because I used to be like that for a long, long time, and I remember one of my girlfriends telling me practically to grow some balls, and another one telling me that I was, because I know you say this a lot, that guys have a relapse, they start strong, and then they get weaker as time goes on. And I used to do
They
that a
get,
lot.
yeah, they get lazy. That's what it comes down to.
Yes, and I used to do that a lot, and it was when I understood that the reason why my relationships were failing was because I couldn't literally stand up for myself. I couldn't defend what I believed in or what I wanted. So it's very true. But I mean, I really like women, so I was determined to make this work for me. So that's how I found out that what I was doing wrong in that regard. But how do you help men who be- because for some of them it seems they seem oblivious to what's happening to them, but they still
Well,
they want to improve their dating life, but they are not. I don't know. It's as if they want you to continue doing the same thing, getting different results.
well, like I told you, like I say, if they're oblivious to what they're doing wrong, they'll never learn.
Mm.
If they see there's a problem, which they
Hmm.
have to see there's a problem. If they see there's a problem, well, yeah, there is a problem. The problem is that they're not respecting themselves.
Hmm.
They're not respecting themselves.
True, true. That's the basic thing. And I think sometimes I can remember pointing out to a couple of people, and they actually realize that because where is the respect for yourself when she keeps insulting you, disrespecting you? She does what she wants, any way she wants it, how she wants it, with no regard for your feelings or your property or your time. So how are you? Where's the respect you are talking about? And he kind of
Exactly. And
realized.
that relationship will not last long. I'll tell you why. Because women aren't satisfied with a man like that. They start looking around.
Yeah, and it happens a lot, and a lot of guys come and blame the woman, and it's not. I don't think at that time it's the woman's fault. I think it's the guy who failed to live up to what you. If you can't fight for what you want, you don't expect the woman to fight for what you want. If you know what I mean, it's like
100%. You
you.
know what? It's like having a horse and riding. And if you stop riding the horse for a long time, you go to ride the horse doesn't want you to ride it. Yeah, and you have to start all over again. You can't just presume. You can't just presume that you're doing what the woman wants, because again, you're breaking rule number one, and you're breaking rule number two. You're making the woman more important than yourself.
Mhm.
Rule number two is the most important rule. If you think the woman is more important to you than you, then go ahead and break your rule.
Mhm.
If
Let
you think, go ahead.
no, so finish, please.
You have to decide whether you're going to follow the rules or you don't. Listen, God made 10 commandments. I made two. If you don't follow the 10 commandments, you could be in trouble in your life and be lost.
Hmm.
We all try to follow them as close as we can.
True.
A couple we don't find as important as most of them. But the same thing, I didn't make 10 rules. I didn't make 20 rules. I made two rules. Two rules, it's what you understand. Most men think that guys like me have magic words to get a woman to go to bed with them. Abracadabra, alakazam, and she spreads her legs. No, The magic is rule number one and rule number two. When they get it, they got it. That's as simple as that. Yes, it takes a lot of talking and showing to men what rule number one and rule number two is. But remember, rule number two protects the men.
Mm.
You watch soccer in England, don't you?
I'm not really a football fan, but sometimes I do.
Okay, but okay, yeah, I don't mean to be if you're a fan or not, but in football,
Hmm.
the most important player on the team is the goalie.
Hmm.
If you get past him, you win.
Hmm.
All the other players try to protect the goalie and score on the other team. Is that correct?
Yes.
Rule number one is all the other players. Rule number two is the goalie.
Mm.
Rule number two is the goalie. It saves your life. It lets you be the winner. So, yeah, not every team wins. Not every team has good enough players. But before they get rid of the goalie, they always try to see why he's getting scored on. Is it because he's not a good goalie? Or is it because doesn't have all the protection he needs?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's basically simple rules follow through in life.
But
If
that,
you don't respect yourself, the woman will keep your balls in her purse.
let me ask you from another angle, because obviously you need to take care of yourself first, and a lot of men you find they have disrespect not just in relationships but also at work, or when they socialize with friends, they seem to be the ones people respect the least. And on another hand, they also have jobs or careers they hate, and I think that also translates into their relationships. What do you think about that?
Well, like I say, sometimes you have a job you don't like, but you make a lot of money, so you keep the job. But remember one thing, it goes back to what I said before. The job is there so you can fucking eat,
Hmm.
okay? And you can look at it anyway. You can fucking eat or you can eat and fuck. That's what the job is there for. The job is there. You take the job so you can enjoy your life. Yes, some people get involved in their jobs. And yes, some men are not the men to think about sex all the time.
Hmm.
If they're not the ones who think about sex all the time, then what's going on? Very simple. If they think more about their job than about sex, well, that's important to them. I can't tell them what's important to them. They have to decide. If they find
Hmm.
they hate their job, they hate themselves, well, I have certain exercises I do, and I try to help them through that. But like I said, it all depends. I design my coaching program for individual men to see what their needs are and where their problems are.
Hmm.
Some men, I had one fellow, he couldn't even talk to a girl. If he talked to a girl face to face, he'd vomit, he'd throw up.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's a serious problem. So what do we start to do? I start to get him phone dating.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
started feeling more comfortable. After 2, 3 conversations with the woman, he says, I'm going to go meet her. I go, no. Why not? I go, no, you're not ready. He
Yeah.
didn't listen. He didn't listen to me. He went to meet her and he threw up.
Oh.
So I told him, when I told him you're not ready, I said, you're not ready. He says, how did you know? I go, because I know. Because you have to tell her, I'm so scared of meeting you, I'm going to probably throw up. So let's talk a little more so I feel more confident, so I can trust you more.
Hmm.
Whatever his feeling was, every man is different. Every woman
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
But you have to find a program for the individual, what's going to help him. You
Hmm.
can't generalize and say you're going to help him with everything you're going to do. You're going to help them through serious problems, but there's some people have too many problems. Some people have to deal with those problems first. And
True.
when they do, after they deal with all those problems, they can have a more meaningful relationship with women, meaningful for what they want.
Yeah, I agree with you completely because some guys want to approach girls in nightclubs. Meanwhile, they've never really had a full conversation with a woman, And I teach salsa dancing, so I always recommend they come to a class and just meet some girls because it's a safe environment. You talk to them anyway, you dance with them, and you're not obliged to do anything just to get used to being around women. And I've seen help many people when they start slow and they build it up rather than just jumping straight in there when they have no experience. David,
Yes.
we've run out of time for today. So how can people find out more about what you do?
Well, they can always go on my website, davidxdating.com. And if they have specific questions, they can always email me at david@davidxdating.com.
Okay, I'm going to put the links on the website as well, so people can easily access your site. And we'll have a few more interviews before the seminar itself comes out, and we'll have more specific questions for you before we even get to the seminar on April 10th.
No
Yeah,
problem. I hope I was helpful today.
that was really, really helpful. Thank you, David, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you. Goodbye.